I dropped the ball pretty bad on the last wacky rig video in multiple ways. You know, if my wacky hook didn't have a guard, if I didn't hook the Senko straight through the straw, if I had my drag tighter or looser, I still think I would have lost a bunch of fish. And the one thing I wanted to drive home in that video is hook type kind of determines what kind of rod and line setup you have for that type of hook. At least that's what it seems like to me. So to kind of show you what I'm talking about, this is my regular Ned hook I run all the time. And this is the wacky rig hook I was using. And so if you look at it, it's a giant difference. You know, you could actually fit that hook inside of my Ned hook, tiny in comparison. And so in my opinion, what happens with my Ned hook is you are getting more of the mouth hooked. The chances of being skin hooked just barely in the corner of the mouth or the top of the roof of the mouth in the skin or something is very unlikely. But with this smaller wacky rig hook, especially on a Senko, because you just don't quite know how they got it, that they could just have half the Senko and not even got to the hook yet, or they have half the Senko and the hook is just barely in the mouth. And with a small hook like that, the chances of being skin hooked are way higher. And that also explains to you why, when you're throwing a wacky rig with that smaller hook, you know, many people say you have to wait a little bit. Give them some time to make sure they have that all the way in their mouth. And on top of the fact that the Senko, the hook's in the middle and you don't know if they have it all the way. And so the theory is if you wait a little bit, they take another bite and get it in their mouth deeper. That's not always the case, I'll tell you that right now. And so you may be asking, well, okay, so what are you saying? This hook, that hook, whatever. So what I'm trying to say is, when you have a Ned hook that's that big, you can run a heavier rod, braid, and you can do a heavier hook set and tighter drag, because for the most part, this is going to have so much more of the fish's mouth hooked that you're not going to rip this out of its mouth. Now, vice versa, with this tiny hook on a wacky rig, the chances of it being skin hooked are very high. And if you have a heavy rod, braid, which has no stretch, with a heavy hook set and heavy drag, you can more than likely rip this out of its mouth because it's not hooked as much. You're not getting as much of the fish hooked. That is my theory anyways, and it seems to be true for me. And so if we remember back to my original video, my first ever time throwing a wacky rig, my issue wasn't hooking them. My issue was losing a Senko every freaking cast. I even had the rubber O-ring, and so yeah, with the O-ring I could make a cast that wouldn't fall apart, but every time I caught a fish, the Senko would be gone. Here's my idea, and what I think is going to work best for me. Since I run a heavier rod, braid which has no stretch, I'm a heavy hook setter, and I'm a tight drag user, my idea is I'm going to use a Z-Man Senko, stick bait. And then, so to remedy the small hook problem with my setup that I use, I'm going to use my original wacky rig hook that I poured myself, that I really didn't have any issues with landing fish. And so as I show you this, you're going to see why I think this is a better setup for me and how I fish. So the distance between the hook eye and the hook point is much greater than the other wacky hook I was using. And it's much more similar to the Ned I use all the time. So that hook should be able to handle the abuse that I'm about to put it through. But hey, let's see if I'm right. Let's go test it out and see how I do. We got the bike back. Well, it was broken for a minute. Had water get into my gearbox. I rusted out some bearings, or just locked them up and ordered some bearings. Took about 3 weeks to get the bearings. She still sounds chunky when it's not under a load, but when it is pushing me, it doesn't sound bad, so it is what it is, I guess. And it's one of those things that since it's Chinese, like it never really goes back together quite right. Things way faster than before. What? Oh my, what? No way, I'm only in second gear. I'm doing 22? That doesn't even make any sense. Basically, one of the bearings that wiped out was a part of a gear, a reduction gear. And that definitely changed my speeds of my bike now. It feels way more torquey again, so I definitely fixed the issue. Yeah, she's fast. Hey. A new chopper. I think that's what he said. Fellow chopper? I don't know what he said. I don't even know who it is, but every time he's like, all right, all right, all right. Brakes make more noise than they do braking. This is craziness. How many freaking deer come through here? Well, we're gonna try something a little bit different. We're back in the same general area. We're gonna try my method of the wacky rig, which is just Z-Man big TRD on my wacky rig hook, just like that. I'm gonna dunk it in some scent though. Oh, there we go. I have sandals on and I don't feel like losing. Let's go up where we might be able to see better. Water's up for the weekend. We're gonna make some casts from this side before we go over. That's a fish. It does not feel small. Oh, these are very big head shakes. Very big head shakes. Oh my. Oh my. Stay on, bud. Oh my. How big are you, bud? Oh, he's a damn giant. He brought a school with him. He's a big one. He got one with him. Very big fish, actually. Very, oh my. Oh, he's a freaking toad. That's a stud. That's a stud. Come here, bud. Come here, bud. Come here. I got you. I got you. I got you. Oh, dude. Oh, I didn't bring the board. That's a big one. Look at that. Hooked perfect. We didn't lose that guy. Let's get a quick look at this guy. He's a big one. That's an 18, I think. I think that's an 18. I have the scale. No, I don't. Wait. Yes, I do. Let's put him back in the water real quick. Get him a jog. He might be a 17.5, but I think he's an 18. Oh, no. Okay, let's see. 2.36, that's probably a 17.5, maybe an 18 since it's late summer. All right, bud. Thanks for playing. Oh, good fish. There he goes. We didn't lose it. Yeah, 2.4 pounds. That's should be a 17, but it's probably a 17.5. I knew when I set that hook. I'm like, oh, I think that's a freaking giant. Oh, got that big TRD on my wacky rig hook, and this is why I've been using this, is because for me it has been hooking fish way better than any other option when it comes to this wacky rig. Now this little metal thing does get beat up. It's bendable, so you should be able to bend it back and place it right in front of the hook point again, so it should keep it semi-weedless. I'm not going to say it's great, but it's good. Whew. That's exciting. My drag might be a little bit too tight. Feels okay. This is why I'm making these hooks and I'm selling them. That was not a fish. I'm getting jumpy now. I gotta calm down. I've lost too many fish using other hooks. You don't need an O-ring. You don't need to carry anything extra with you. You just bring the big TRDs or the Zinkers, whatever you want. The TRDs also have salt in them. The salt does tend to come out of them through use. They start to actually float, and so that's why you need the weighted hook. Like I said, I have 16ths, eighths, 3/4, or 3/16 and quarters. So I can't see me ever really using a quarter, but I fish this a little bit more, and then we're gonna go over and fish it on the way up. I don't want to walk through this with my sandals, but I'm gonna have to. It just feels like such a bad idea. I'm slipping already. They're usually not that slippery. I almost ate it already. We're here kind of late in the afternoon. It's like 6:30. Almost the same thing that happened the first time I took the Ned. The first cast last time, it was a nice one. I'd say like 16.5. This time, I'm pretty sure it's a 17.5. Craziness. These side creeks during summer and late summer is a very good place to fish. See, that's cool because that was another time that we actually got the big fish first. And that is actually super rare to happen. See, I'm always switching modes where I'm power fishing off my boat more than anything. So my reactions are super fast, which to me isn't good for finesse fishing. And that's what's cool is like the Z-Man is so durable. You just hook that right through the center like you like it, and you're good for a long time. There's one. Good fish. Coming right at me. Loosen the drag a little bit. He's not a giant, but he's a good one. Coming right at me again. He's being funny. All right. There's another one with him. He's not a giant, but he's a good one. I'll take it. He's a very thick 13. Oh, look at that, hooked perfect. All the way inside there. So we're gonna have to get my pinky down in there. There we go. We got him. We got him out with the pinky. See you, bud. All right, let's put this wire back where it belongs. Yeah, every fish does tend to beat this wire up, and it won't last forever. Eventually it will break off from being bent back and forth, but I don't know, it's a couple fish already. Here we are, 2 for 2. That's a snag. Well, that's interesting. Got it out. See, no matter what, even with the weed guard or not, you'll still get stuck in the rocks and stuff. Yeah, it's looking proper. It just got snagged in a rock. Oh, I saw him come in and take off. Oh, that's another good one. He brought another one with him. He's fighting like a damn trout. That's another good one. Why is he just head shaking? He ain't running. Oh, I kind of watched that, but then I kind of didn't watch that. That was interesting. All right, come on over here, bud. That's another good fish. Another real good fish. Oh my. Oh, that's another good one. Oh, number 3. Whew. Hooked perfect. Look at that. Oh, beautiful fish. He's probably a 14 and a half, maybe a 15. Beautiful fish. I'll see you, bud. I have to say, you really can't deny the fish catching ability of a wacky rig. Can't say Senko, you offend some people because it's not an actual Senko. But stick baits, it freaking works. I mean, we haven't even made it that far, and we are hooking everything. And see, this is again, knock on wood. I'm knocking on my head right now. We haven't lost one. Get that weed guard back in line again. And this is what I'm saying. This is why I like this hook. It's still technically an EWG, but it's also kind of like a circle hook. It's not really a circle hook. I don't know, it's just different. It's a different kind of hook, is the best I can say. Just take your time, let that thing drift and give it some twitches. Not that I'm no wacky rig pro. Honestly, random fishing's a wacky rig pro. It's a wacky rig master. I don't know, you kind of just let it do the work, keep it from getting snagged, and give it a little bit of action here and every once in a while. Work that thing back like it's a fleeing crab. You never know what might be looking at it. I love the casting distance of this wacky rig. So much plastic there, you can cast it a dang half a mile. You know, I spend so much time in that boat adventuring, which is awesome in its own way, but when you're in that boat moving, you have 2 options. You drive really fast to get somewhere and stop and fish, or you fish as you move up at a speed that you can tolerate fishing. And to do that, you're mainly power fishing. I don't want to break this off. So most of this summer I've been power fishing with a buzz bait. Forgot to break it off. Oh, I got a stick, I think. It's coming with me. Yep, that's why we couldn't get it. So even with that weed guard, you're not completely weedless. Ooh. But... Oh! Why the f... Anyways, pure chaos. Wrap my tip 300 freaking times. Like the stick's free again. I don't know why this reel went in reverse like 3 different times. I think with me holding it, I was accidentally grabbing that. Just gonna pull this stick over. So yeah, that weed guard isn't bulletproof, but I think that's what helps you hook fish, and it still helps a little bit. Bring that back. It probably wrapped around the freaking stick is what happened. Get over here. Got it. Well, at least you know the hook's good enough to drag this freaking thing in the current. What's the hook look like? Just fine. It's just fine. Just fine. We're gonna throw it. We're gonna throw it again. I think we just need to keep making our way up. And this time of year, fishing can get weird because the smallies, they like to school up and chase bait fish. Oh, I think that was a fish, and I pulled it out of his mouth. That's another one. We got this one. He don't feel big. The other one, I felt him for a second and he come off. He probably didn't have it because I got too excited. This one's on though. All right. See, that's what I mean. Lose one, you'll catch another one right after that because they're all together. Little guy though, see ya. Fix that weed guard. So is that every fish you catch, you gotta fix the weed guard. Like I said, it won't last forever, but it's better than nothing. Throw it back where we were. There's something about this hook. I think it's a good hook. I think it's the way to throw the wacky. I could be wrong. I know a ton of you guys that throw an actual Senko weightless, and I tried that. I'm not saying it's bad. And maybe I had the wrong hook. Maybe I had it hooked wrong. There's all kinds of things I could figure out. I'm just saying that I bought this mold before I ever really threw a Senko. And I've gone through a couple different versions of stuff. And this hook is just working for me. It just is. Just tend your line. Just make sure your line's tight enough that you can feel a bite. I just kind of pull it up every once in a while just to make sure it doesn't get snagged on a rock. That's a fish. Oh, this feels like a good one too. Oh, okay. There, we lost one there. Oh, dang, that sucks. That was a decent one too. Like I said, you can't. I don't care. I don't think there's any way to have 100% hookup ratio on anything. I mean, fishing's fishing still. You know what I mean? Lost my sandal. Lost my sandal. Sandals suck. How am I doing this? Oh look, a Rapala. Rapala? Rapala. Give me that. She's old. It's like a green or a emerald shiner color. We'll take it. Please don't be any snakes. Please don't be any snakes. Oh, that's a giant hole and I lost my sandal in it. What the f***? You're kidding me. Groundhog? Jesus. I went straight down to an abyss. Thought I was gonna find China. That hurt. Oh, that was kind of scary. I didn't think I was ever gonna stop falling. You don't really know exactly where they're gonna be sitting, so you just want to keep fan casting. That's a fish. Oh, he don't look real bad. Coming right at me. Guy's going nuts. He's not that big, but we got him. Oh, he don't like that Senko on his face. Oh, this poor guy's already messed up pretty bad with his mouth anyways. Dang, bud, I'm sorry. I didn't do that to you. See ya. Poor guy. The guy's gonna be traumatized. Somebody ripped his freaking face off. fascinates me. That's a fish. It is not small. Oh, it's not small. It's not a giant. Okay, maybe he's not as big as I think. Wicked head shakes. Oh, this Senko does just work, man. Or these stick baits just freaking work. That's a nice one. He's not a giant, but he's a good one. Hook decent. See you, bud. All right. Cool. They love this thing. They love it. I don't entirely know why, but they love it. It's funny, something like a green pumpkin stick bait can still work so good when the Senko's been around for so long and everyone throws the freaking thing. Well, not everyone, but just a lot of people. I'll be honest, I was kind of a Senko hater for a while because everyone and their mother uses the freaking thing, and it just seems characterless at times to just see so many people throwing a Senko. But if there's that many people throwing a Senko, then it must work, and it freaking works. It works. Saw some bait fish jumping out there in the middle, so we're gonna cast up above that, let it swing down in. See what we got. We got a leaf. I just hook set a leaf. I just hook set a leaf. We need to make our way up. We gotta get moving. Cast up and where we're gonna be walking. I'm gonna come up here, get prepared. Take my book bag off. Limber up a little bit. I know where they were sitting before. Let's try it again. See if they're in there. Alright, calm down, just pay attention. That's a fish. Ooh, it's pulling hard. Loosen the drag too much. Stay on, bud. This is a good one. Maybe it's just the current. Hopefully he doesn't pull. Oh, he just came off. You're kidding me. Sitting here, trying to explain why my hook works better, and I lose a freaking giant. Freaking kidding me. I had him on for a long time too. That sucks. Senko's like a little messed up. Fix that. Well, they're in here. I just lost a freaking giant. Maybe it's just me. And no matter what I throw, I just lose fish. Especially giants. Freaking cursed, I swear. See, the problem is, they're schooled up. He probably just pulled the whole school away from there. I should have, I don't know, I should have just got him in. Well, like I said, something that comes into factor here is time of year. If you think about it, most of these fish have wounds and holes in their mouth from being fished all year or all summer. You know what I mean? There's a lot more fair weather fishermen than anything else. He probably pulled that whole out. They're so keyed into what each other are doing. That's a fish. He ain't doing much. Oh, it's another good one. It's another good one. Come on in, bud. That's another good one. That's another good one. Come on in, bud. Come on. I'll take you. I'll take you. Oh, he's pissed. I would be too. Hooked right on the top. Oh, he's got a little sore. But overall, he doesn't look too bad. He's a good one. Maybe a 14F, maybe 515. I don't know. See ya, bud. See that one? I think a part of this is you have the human error side of all of these tests with me. I'm not the best angler. I'm not always on my game. The thing is, you really need to be paying attention to the bite and get a good hook set in to make any bait work, in my opinion. And if you're not tending your line right, you're not paying attention to get that hook set in, You gotta make sure your rod's here when you start the hook set, or here. If your rod's all the way up here in the sky and you have slack and you feel the bite, good luck. You're gonna lose that fish. Not all the time, but for me, I'll lose it. Regardless, what is that? 2 fish lost? I think it's just 2. We're gonna try to walk down and fish the other side of the island. I was not recording for that. Just cast it out there, right on the corner of the current seam. Big head shakes. I think we got a big one. Maybe not. Oh man, I could have swore he was gonna be a freaking giant. He's a good one, but dang. The way he was gliding in and head shaking, I thought for sure he was gonna be a freaking giant. Changed the battery up there and I forgot to turn it on. See you, bud. Anyways, just you can see where the current's ripping. Then right beside it, it calms down. Cast in there and that guy hit it, and I really thought that was gonna be the one. And he was just head shaking the whole way in. Ooh. That's a fish, not small. Not small. Just walking down, he feels big. Stay on, bud. Is he big? Or am I crazy again? He's a nice one. He's a nice one. Ooh. He's a nice one. Oh, yeah. He's a good one. He's a good one. He's hooked good. Oh, he's fat for how small his mouth is. There we go. Got him unhooked. He has some little damage. I don't think that was from me either. That's what I mean about end of summer. Man, these fish have been through the ringer. He's a good 14 and a half, 15 maybe. Maybe a 13. He's at least a 14. I'll see you, bud. He's gone. Most of these fish through here have been hooked multiple times. I'm gonna unhook this and hook this again in fresh meat. Fix this wire again. To me, I think that's why this hook is working as decent as it is, because it's a little bit bigger and you're getting more meat. You're getting hooked in a better place. 14 and ups will fool you into thinking they're bigger fish than they are. That's a fish. It does not feel big. But so far he's staying hooked. Bud, jeez. Okay, there we go. Oh god, oh, he's gone. See you, bud. I think that's about it for today. I gotta get out of here before I can't see. Face upriver. If you face up, you shouldn't lose a sandal because the water is forcing it onto your foot. Semi-grippy here because there's so much speed here all the time. Feel the bottom. Feel the bottom. Feel the bottom. And there's a big rock. Go behind the big rock. Feel the bottom. Feel the bottom. Then step. Don't step on the rock. Step beside the rocks. Face up current. Just keep talking to myself so I don't f this up. I think we got it. Careful, because this is where they'll get slippery again. Now we gotta find the bike and get the out of here. I will see you guys next time. Link is in the description for my Shopify store, where you can pick up some of these wacky rig hooks if you like. They work good for me, especially with a Z-Man bait, with the Zinkers or the Ned TRD, the big Ned TRD. It's the same thing as a Zinker, just it's 4 inch instead of 5 inch. Adventure's not over until we're back to the truck, because deer love to jump out in front of me. And hopefully that light that my dad got me a while back still works, because I haven't tested it in a very long time. Ouch! You son of a... Alright, bike's still here. Does the light turn on? Oh, it works. If you hold down the downshift power down button, it'll do a push mode, which is supposed to be the speed of which you walk, but it's slipping on everything. And I'm going up a damn giant hill. Come on. Oh. Alright, we got it. There's a culprit right there. I'm gonna break my freaking elbow again. Look, no hands. I don't know what to do with my hands. So if you made it this far, just know that I appreciate you watching the entire video. It means a lot to me. That is probably the number one thing you can do to help this channel is watch the video the whole way through. That helps my algorithm. Thank you. So as I'm sure you saw, I did still lose 2 fish on this trip. I think it was 2. You know, I'm not going to sit here and edit my videos and alter reality to make something look good or bad. You know, yeah, I am selling these hooks. Of course, if I wanted to, I could have edited that out and pretended like I didn't lose a single fish. I'm not going to do that. That, to me, sounds and feels absolutely freaking evil. But also, I want to leave you with a final note. So in the last video, another thing someone mentioned was thinking my drag was too loose. And I'm not going to argue that, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain why that person could be right. When I tried to use what could be considered a normal wacky rig setup for a lot of you guys, small hook, drop shot hook, or wacky rig hook, hooked in the center, weightless, I knew from the beginning that I don't have a setup designed to throw a type of bait like that. Like I said, I have a pretty heavy rod, braid, I'm a heavy hook setter, and I have heavy drag. So in an attempt to throw a rig like that, I have to change something in that equation to help myself not destroy the fish and lose the fish on my hook set and in my fight. And so I did loosen my drag to compensate for heavy rod and braid and heavy hook set. Because, I don't know if you noticed, I caught quite a few fish with damage to their face. If I don't change anything in that equation with a tiny hook like this wacky rig hook, that's what happens. You will harm that fish. You will hurt that fish. You will break its jaw. You will tear a hole in its mouth. Heavy rod, braid, heavy hook set, and heavy drag, you will hurt the fish with a tiny hook. Even with a big hook, if you go too crazy with any of those, you will hurt that fish. There has to be a balance in the system somewhere. My version of a heavy hook set isn't like someone who's frog fishing. I'm not reeling down and then slackline slamming this bait. I don't do that. But I do have a heavy hook set compared to a lot of people. And I just wanted to put that out there that these fish are being damaged by fishermen with a rod that's too heavy, probably using braid, with too heavy of a hook set, and a drag that's too tight. So that's why I loosen my drag. So what I'm saying is it's not like as if you can DoorDash in a lighter rod. You're not going to have a spool of fluorocarbon in your bag. You're going to re-spool your rod while you're on the water. You can adjust your heavy hook set, and you can adjust your drag. So that's what I did. I adjusted the drag. You know, my hook set's been learned over years and years of practice. So to me, the easiest thing to change was to just dial it back a little bit. So anyways, thank you for your time. Link is in the description of my store. Check it out if you're interested. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.